This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Before we get to Tommy Smyth to talk United States men's team, I'll tell you about Game Day Men's Health here at 9:43, Tuesday, July 7th on Jocks. If you're lacking energy, feeling on edge, lacking sleep, Game Day Men's Health can help you. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Sign up for the free consultation, free PSA test, free testosterone test. They give you your baseline health. They present the options they have to be able to help you. Peptides, weight loss, they can help you with all that. You save 10% on any service they offer when you mention Mac and Cube when you walk in the front door. Locker room environment, great people, holistic approach to health and wellness, and a minimal upfront cost from the programs they offer. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to take advantage like so many Jocks listeners have. All right, Tommy Smyth joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline to talk World Cup. And Tommy, for us soccer novices watching this game last night, it felt ugly. It looked ugly. But how do you grade this appearance in this World Cup in its totality for this United States men's soccer team?
Well, Greg and Cole, it's nice to be on with you for a start. It wasn't a very good performance. I mean, early on, they had very good performances. They got a little bit of a luck with the draw because they got Paraguay, they got Australia, and they got Turkey. None of the big dogs really in world soccer. I mean, when they came up against Belgium last night, they were lacking considerably in the talent to match them. I mean, Belgium just played whatever way they wanted to. And when the US got the goal from a deflected free kick, Belgium just said, hey, we'll go down and we score another one. So the US had a very, very tough time getting into the game last night.
It was brutal from start to finish. I don't know a lot about the style, but were they outclassed on their own doing, or was that more Belgium, or was that more the United States?
Yeah, well, it was Belgium. You guys know in sport, you only play as well as the opponent lets you. And Belgium certainly didn't let the US play well last night. The US, and to top it all off, the US picked a bad night to be nervous and to be, they weren't doing the things that they did earlier. Now, I don't know how much, there was so much tension around this camp and all this stuff about the red card and everything else, and I'm not sure how much it played on people's minds, but the US didn't look a patch of themselves last night.
What was the strategic disadvantage? What from a coaching perspective would you say could have been changed, could have been different? What would you sort of Monday morning quarterback what the United States team did from a strategic perspective last night?
Last night, if I was coaching the US team and the way things were going, I would have said, okay, forget about midfield. As a defender, when you get the ball, bang it in long into the box and let Balogun do something inside. Maybe force a penalty kick, maybe get himself a good shot. They never did that. They tried to walk it in, and Belgium were waiting for them every time they turned. I mean, the most disappointing player on the field last night was Pulisic. I think he gave, even in the amount of time he played, he gave 11 balls up, which you can't afford to do, but I can understand why it happened, because Belgium were marking them so closely. So I would have played the long ball. I mean, I come from a country where we played the long ball, and it got us to several World Cups, because when you get defenders running in the wrong direction, defenders are brilliant when they're facing the ball and the ball is coming to them, and all they have to do is put a boot on and get it out into midfield, and one of the midfielders get it. But if you can get the ball in behind them and you get players running in behind them, there were a couple of times last night that the US did that, and they looked pretty good. It looked like they were going to get a ball across into the box. It didn't happen. There was one in particular where the guy just put his foot up. If he had got a touch on it, the US would have been in business. So that's what I would have done different, but that's only my opinion.
One thing that we're all trying to figure out, not a lot of us, frankly, that listen to our show and honestly us that have participated in our show, like I watched because I want America to do well. I want to see us make progress. I want to see us be better than we were 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, what have you. And I think after last night, it was so disappointing because I felt like this year could be different. It could be a breakthrough. They could make a run. And yet here we are, same spot, 17th ranked team in the world. We make it to round of 16. We go out in remarkably unspectacular fashion. So what I'm having a hard time with is, are we actually better? Is the U.S. improved on the world stage from a soccer standpoint?
Individually, some of the players have improved. But, a collective, no, they haven't. They're basically about the same thing. And, they have a few very talented players who on their night can play with anybody, but their night is not often enough. They have to change something within U.S. Soccer Federation.
We're visiting with Tommy Smyth, ESPN soccer analyst on the Higginbotham hotline. So U.S. now gone. Is this France's tournament to lose?
I would think so, although Spain have gone like 10 hours without giving up a goal. So, France had problems against Paraguay, and when you consider that the U.S. beat Paraguay 4-1, and, France had to take a penalty kick in the 70th minute to beat Paraguay. This, I'm told, is going to be the semi-final pairing. They can't meet in the final, so one of them is going to be eliminated, either France or Spain, before the final. I have a feeling that, Spain will give them a really, really tough test. I fancy, I'm jumping ahead of myself here, guys. I fancy Spain to beat Belgium. So it'll be Spain against France. And, I picked France at the beginning, and I'm not gonna leave the sinking ship just yet. It's not sinking as far as I'm concerned.
So what about Argentina? They'll go tonight. They're the second favorite right now. Obviously, we know about Messi, we know about others, but how good is that group relative to what they were 4 years ago?
Well, with the exception of them being just 4 years older and having played 4 years more of football, they're basically still the same group. They're still the same kind of a group. They are very, very well organized at the back. Their defense is really good. And, of course, when you need a goal, you pick up the phone and you dial Messi and say, hey, we need a goal. And that's the rest of the story. I fancy them to beat Egypt tonight. Egypt have a pretty good team. They've competed well in the Cup of Nations in Africa. And they have Mo Salah, a man who did an awful lot of great things for Liverpool in England, playing with Liverpool. He's a great goal scorer. Watch for him on the right. He'll be cutting in all the time, and they'll need to keep an eye on him. But at the end of the day, I fancy Argentina to beat Egypt.
Tommy, you mentioned the red card with the United States and that being overturned. Just what were your overall thoughts on the handling of that entire situation? Because a lot of us watching it, we don't know what to make of it. It seems just wild. Maybe this is a little more normal. What did you make of that entire deal?
No, it's not normal. It's not normal. People said, look, he should have the red card overturned because Ronaldo had his red card overturned. But there was a complete difference. People were comparing the two, and I don't know why. Ronaldo got suspended for 3 games, not 1 game. He got suspended for 3 games, and it was in World Cup qualifying. So he served 1 game, and they said, okay, you're on probation now for the next 2 years with the other 2 suspensions. If you get a red card, you're going to have to serve them too. Balogun got a red card, which, FIFA themselves said there's no way that you can appeal a red card. And we all know what happened. It became a real, the word I wanted to use, I can't use it on radio, but it became a real mess. And it ruined everything. Because, this World Cup, guys, was the best. I've been watching this sport for, 100 years, maybe. This was the best World Cup I had ever seen. It was unbelievable. The crowds, the amount of people who have been at this World Cup. And the chatter beforehand was, the tickets are so expensive. The stadiums will be half full. Well, I don't know where the people got the money, but they got the money, or something happened with the tickets anyhow, because the stadiums were all full. And the feeling of the amount of people that came to this country to follow the World Cup and the reception they got, it was unbelievable. Boston, they fell in love with the Scots, and then they went down to Miami and they had a sweater down there. I'm not sure they fell in love quickly with them down there. But there were so many great stories of people coming to this country and people seeing what this country has to offer and how kind and gentle the people in this country can be. So it can, hopefully we'll forget about it very quickly.
Last one for me. That game in Mexico City between Mexico and England was the greatest. I haven't watched a ton of soccer. You've been watching for 100 years. That was the greatest scene I've ever seen. If we could just get that on a regular basis, I think soccer would become very popular in this country. But that was unique, was it not?
Yes. It wouldn't be unique for Mexico. Mexico had played 89 games in the Azteca Stadium, and they only had lost 2. So, I mean, they had a pretty good home field advantage, and that's the way their fans react all the time. And, of course, you're playing 1.5 miles above sea level. But it was a tremendous atmosphere, really was. And, you know, I think the U.S. soccer team this time proved that you can get that kind of an atmosphere in the U.S. because you've seen even last night. I mean, when the U.S. got the goal and the game was a draw, 1-1, I mean, the crowd were going crazy. I mean, I was sitting in my house here, I could feel it almost shaking, even though they were in Seattle. They were making so much noise and having such a great time. So it is capable of, they are capable of doing it, but it's a question of will they?
I am a part-time Croatia fan as well as being a full-time United States fan. Am I on board? Were you on board with me believing that they got screwed against Portugal?
Yeah.
There we go. That's all we need.
You know, was it a drop of sweat? Was it his hair? I mean, this thing about, I mean, we've come so far. We have something in the ball now that tells us if the ball was played. You know, I think we've gone too far. I think we've got to go back just a little step. I'm always in favor of progress, but you know, progress sometimes has a terrible, terrible feel to it. And I'll tell you one thing: Croatia felt it very badly. They were a great team in this World Cup.
Well, you're a great guest. We appreciate the time today. Thank you so much for hopping on. It's a pleasure to have you. Great to hear from you, and enjoy the rest of this World Cup.
Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy and be safe. Okay?
Yes, sir. There we go. Tommy Smyth. At Tommy Smyth ESPN, that's SMYTH. You can follow him on Twitter. Does an excellent job covering soccer. Appreciate him taking some time to join us today. And the fact that he agrees that Croatia got jobbed in this tournament.
That make him the best guest ever?
One of the, yeah, no doubt. I'll quickly take you to a bad box score of the day. How about that? We got about a minute until we're going to get out, but I will share that with you. Back to the AF1.
Ooh.
Arena Football 1. The Kentucky... There you go, yeah. Damien, Kentucky Barrels. They took on the Minnesota.
They're the Monsters, yeah.
And they went down 60-8 over the weekend. The Monsters prevailed. The main takeaway you need from this game is that the Barrels, you would think Kentucky with all the...
Is it a barrel?
Oh, like from Modern Family?
It's barrel. Based on the logo, I think it's a barrel. It's actually like a whiskey barrel that has the football... The strings on it from the football.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's actually a good logo.
Yeah. Creative.
Look, right here.
Are we getting gear?
We need some gear.
We're Nashville Cats.
Oh, yeah, we need gear on. We need that gear.
It's a good logo. Your takeaway here needs to be that the passing for the Kentucky Barrels was not there. Eric Phoenix was not hot. 17 of 44, 85 yards passing.
Not what you're looking for.
Trash.
No touchdowns, 3 picks.
Not great.
That's what happens when you run into the Monsters.
Monsters or Monstars?
They're the Monsters.
Both.
They got put over the barrel.
In this game.
Got him.
So.
Let's go.
Claude Davis did have 2 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown.
Toting that thing.
I also love that Gunnar Hurlbert, an offensive lineman, had 4 carries for 19 yards for the Minnesota Monsters in this game. They're like, it's such a blowout. Just start giving the O-line carries. We're back tomorrow. 3-man front is next.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, 3-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.